Hello, everyone, and I'm here with my thoughts and opinions on WWE's breaking news from May 25th, 2016. And the breaking news is actually, in some cases, really good, in some cases, kind of, what could potentially go wrong here? Uh, so I'll go ahead and start with what I would say is the best news. And that is that on July 19th, SmackDown is officially going to go live. Now, for anyone who hasn't known, SmackDown, since it started airing, has always been a taped show. They would tape it on Tuesdays, and then it would air on Thursday or Friday. One of those 2 days, because they have flip-flop between those 2 days, with the occasional live special here and there. And they had a couple of really good ones in the past with the live specials. But now they're going to instantly go into full-on live on Tuesday nights from here on in, at least for the time being. I think this is a good thing. Mainly because now you don't have to worry about, like, for people who go throughout the internet and everything, they find spoilers and everything like that. They read the SmackDown spoilers, and then they'll decide whether or not they want to even watch the show. Which in most cases they'll just no, I don't even need to watch the show. I know what already happened. Now they're not going to know what happened, and they can. So you actually either have to watch or read it later. In that case. Where beforehand you could read it before it even aired. So now you would have to, now you'd be kind of like behind. So for people who don't like to be behind on anything, they will definitely have to watch the show as it airs. And I think this is a good thing because I think live shows are always better, just on the aspect of they can feel more unpredictable, even with how predictable WWE can be. So it always gives that little era of unpredictability because now they don't necessarily have time to edit edit out a mistake, or we need crowd noise here, so let's pipe in crowd noise on here, and it just sounds really, really bad. Now they have to do everything on the fly. So that is definitely something that I feel is better in the terms of a TV show, and it should come off better. And I think they're doing this mainly because they feel like a live show more people will end up watching. I would honestly agree with that sentiment as well. Most people would rather watch the show happen live than watch a tape show that they might have already read the results for already in that case. So that's one aspect of the breaking news that they decided to go with. The second one, and this one kind of leaves me up in the air, like what is going to happen in the terms of, because we've seen it before, is the brand split. So they've already teased it with Stephanie and Shane. One of them is going to be running SmackDown, and it seems like the other one's going to be running Raw. So they're going to brand split it. So they're going to split up the superstars, and they're going to be on separate shows. So if you want to see a particular superstar, you'd have to watch this particular show. They tried this in the past. There was a whole aspect that they tried when they wanted to create some kind of competitive nature. But the only way that they could truly do it was within themselves. It worked for a little bit, but there was there ended up being a lot of glaring issues that they couldn't really make enough stars on both programs to warrant it down the road, which is why they eventually just merged it all back together. They feel like they have this chance again to do this, and that they have the ability to create the amount of stars that they need. Now, what are they going to do? Last time around, initially when they started the brand split, the main WWE title and the women's title, both those champions could show up on both shows. That eventually kind of went away, where like the WWE title was on SmackDown, then they created the World Heavyweight title, so we have two separate world champions at that time, and then eventually the women's champion just was on Raw exclusively and only there, instead of being able to go through both shows. What I feel like, this is personal opinion here, this is where I think they need to be with the titles. The Intercontinental title and the U.S. title. need to be on separate shows. So one's on SmackDown, one's on Raw. The mid-card titles, one per show. Okay. I feel like that would be okay. But for the WWE World Heavyweight title, needs to stay one title. That champion, both shows. The tag team titles, one champion, both shows. Not two sets of tag team champions like you had in the last brand split that they had. And the women's champion, one title, both shows. And this is like, and that particular champion's on both shows. So like each, so they could like go kind of flip flop as like number one contender is over here, so you're going to be on Raw this time or on SmackDown this time, or you just appear on both shows in general in that case. So those three titles I feel like need to stay one, and the champion at the time is on both shows. And when a new champion comes in, then that particular person gets drafted over to Raw or SmackDown. Now, for the case of how they're going to do the brand split, last time around they had this intricate draft show and everything like that, which they had done for which they did for a few years afterwards as well. That's, they get drafted to a particular show, and then afterwards they had like the rest of the supplemental, like the rest of the talent. Like you would have to go through WWE.com to figure out who was on which show at that time. That might not be a bad way of doing it again. I don't know what they're going to do to actually split up the brands. This is why I'm like hesitant about this. The last brand split didn't go that well. You didn't fully feel the competitive nature of what they're they were supposed to create a competitive nature. You have Raw against SmackDown, or SmackDown against Raw in this case, and you never fully got that sense of it, of how like a difference in the shows. Though their looks were definitely, the look of the shows were definitely different. The feel of the shows weren't really any different down in the end. It was just like, do I particularly want to watch this superstar? Okay, I'll watch SmackDown, or I'll watch Raw, or anything like that. But there was no like true competition amongst it. Though they tried. Don't get me wrong, they tried then. That's going to be the hard aspect there. Are they going to create a full-on competitive bit between both shows, and how are they going to do it in that sense? If it's just like last time, where it's like on occasion it was on pay-per-view Raw versus SmackDown or something like that, that's not going to work. They're going to have to do something in a different light there to make it feel like it's a completely different aspect. Even if it like announcers, though back then announcers were different, so the announcers have to be completely different. Like Byron Saxton, Michael Cole can't show up on both shows. They have to have a completely set of different announcers for each show now in there, just to give that different feel and everything in that sense. And also, again, like for the world title, the tag titles, the women's title, when last time around they created separate belts for all three of those divisions. Like the world title or the WWE World title was, you had the undisputed title, and then they split it up, so you had just the WWE title and the World Heavyweight title, where they brought back the big gold belt in there. This time around, don't bring back the big gold belt. One champion. Stick it through the entire way. Don't have two world champions again. Same with the tag team division. Don't have two tag team champions. And just like with the women's division, this is where you got the Divas title from down the road. You don't want two different champions. You want to only have one for each of those three divisions, and then you have the two mid-card titles. This way, the title matches are now more important, because each show, for one, you might not even be able to have like a champion in each show, because WWE title's being defended on SmackDown this month, but the women's and the tag are defended on Raw. So those champions might be focusing mainly on those particular shows, and everything in that sense. And like, these are just my opinions of like how I think it should go. Who knows where they're going to go with it? And like I said last time around, they didn't really do that good of a job. And then they made the brands separate pay-per-views, which they just didn't work, and they didn't come off all that well in the end. And then they did eventually stop doing the brand-only pay-per-views, but in the end, like I said, the brand-only pay-per-views did not work. Like, I still feel like the pay-per-views should still have both brands, and you have like the separate announcers for each side. They did that for a little while too, which I thought was a good way of going. So we'll see where they go with everything. Like I said, this was one that came almost out of left field, though the brand split was thought of when Shane McMahon came back in, so those rumors do end up becoming true, that the brand split looks like it's coming back. I'm not the biggest proponent of it because of how it happened last time, but we'll see where everything goes. I'm actually more interested with the fact that SmackDown is going to be live on live instead of tape now. So we'll see. Like I said, we'll see where everything goes. I thank you guys for watching. This is, again, just my thoughts and opinions, and maybe like me actually throwing a few options out there of how it might work. Will it go that way? Who knows what they're going to do in that sense. So again, thank you guys for watching. Have a great day.